For as long as anyone can remember, racism has been a plight that has plagued every sport known to man. Some of us may think that the racism doesn't really exist in Formula One, but unfortunately this isn't the case at all, as a heartbreaking interview by Lewis Hamilton has revealed. How has racial abuse sadly plagued much of Hamilton's life, including life at the top of Formula One? And how exactly these harrowing experiences have shaped him into the man he is today, fighting for justice at every opportunity. This is the untold story of Lewis Hamilton's raw experiences. Watch till the end to get a sense of what being black in world of Formula One is really like. Right, let's get straight into it, shall we? On an episode of On Purpose with Jay Shetty, the 7-time world champion racing driver poured it all out on air. During his honest and raw interview, Hamilton tells Shetty and the world about what it was like growing up black in a predominantly white school, and the devastating racist abuse he suffered as a result. The British racing driver, who's currently in the 17th season of Formula One, said that the school was most difficult and traumatising part of his life, revealing that he has already been bullied racially as early as 6 years old. Hamilton revealed that he was one of 3 kids of colour in the school at the time, and bigger, stronger kids were regularly physically throwing him around all the time. He added that the incessant racial jabs were even worse, with kids tossing bananas at him or even using the N-word so casually. And things only got worse for the Mercedes driver. The Briton also revealed that the very school system itself, which is supposed to be designed to make all pupils feel included, did the exact opposite. Subjects like history made it even harder for Lewis to fit in due to a stark lack of black people and people of colour in the history he was being taught. If you thought that was bad, just wait to see what's coming. Hamilton further gave a detailed description of his life in secondary school. The Stevenage-born driver revealed that the number of black children in his school increased to about 6 or 7 out of 1,200 kids, and 3 were always unfairly put outside the headmaster's office. Looking at the sheer numbers alone, something certainly seems unjustly amiss there. The 38-year-old opened up, revealing that this made him feel like the system itself was set up against him, and he was, in his words, swimming against the tide. The Mercedes driver added that he suppressed many things, which stopped him from telling his parents how much he got bullied and beaten up at school. Hamilton's experience growing up says a lot about what black people and people of colour everywhere go through. Although Hamilton suppressed a lot of the traumas he experienced, the Brit revealed that racing helped him properly channel all those emotions. According to him, it wasn't until he started racing that he could channel his emotions into driving, which was a crucial outlet for him. Judging by his heartbreaking experiences at school, an outlet of some kind was absolutely necessary. The 7-time F1 champion revealed that the fictional hero Superman was an inspiring character for him growing up because of how he always fought for justice and did the right thing. Just in case you didn't know, Hamilton is of Grenadian descent, with his father and former manager hailing from Grenada and his mum hailing from Birmingham, England. Lewis Hamilton has been a diversity champion and a leading advocate against racism right from the start of his career. You're gonna want to hear this next point. Hamilton, who holds the record for the most Grand Prix wins and pole positions, 103 respectively, and shares the record of most F1 world titles with Michael Schumacher, was the first black driver to compete in Formula One. As shocking as this might sound, it gets even worse. Hamilton remains F1's only black driver to this day. While being F1's sole black driver is a historical feat, it does, however, say a lot about the sport's level of inclusivity and diversity, an aspect of Formula One which Hamilton has recently been vocal about. Just last year, the Britain urged Formula One to reject racism and ignore old voices as it strives to become more diverse. This would come after former race car driver and 3-time F1 champion Nelson Piquet reportedly referred to Hamilton by a racial slur, and the 38-year-old had to react publicly to these comments. For some unfathomable reason, his comments didn't sit right with former Formula One boss Bernie Ecclestone, saying he was surprised the Brits hadn't brushed it aside. This then prompted the 7-time champion to question their older voices in sport without mentioning either Ecclestone or Piquet by name. The Mercedes driver revealed that the older voices, whether consciously or not, do not like the idea of diversity in the sport. Even before this all happened, Hamilton once issued a bitter rebuke to the executives of Formula One and some of his fellow drivers after F1's inability to deliver on the promise of an organised anti-racism message during the Hungarian Grand Prix. Although Hamilton did what he does best at the Grand Prix, and that's win, the Brit was still critical of F1's failure to back its stated commitment to tackling discrimination and racism. If you thought those old voices were bad, just wait to hear this. As we all know, 2020 was quite the year due to the pandemic, but also came with a global awakening to the Black Lives Matter movement, which resulted in the most significant social justice movement in sport. And Formula One was also taking part in this movement. In Budapest that year, drivers were supposed to come together to make a pre-race anti-racism gesture. However, what followed was disorganised and shambolic at best. Some drivers were late, some didn't even bother attending, some didn't wear the End Racism t-shirts, and only a few decided to take a knee. This didn't sit well with many people, especially Hamilton. This left the Brit so desperate for change that he claimed he would demand action from FIA's president Jean Todt and F1's chief executive Chase Carey. At the Tuscan Grand Prix in the same year, Hamilton wore a t-shirt with the message "Arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor" on its front. When asked, the Briton calmly said he was addressing human rights issues. Hamilton has also come out previously to say that the legacy of George Floyd, whose devastating demise at the hands of a United States police officer sparked the uprising of the Black Lives Matter movement, will never be forgotten, and that the work to drive enduring change in the fight against racial discrimination will continue. This is who Hamilton is, a prominent voice against any form of discrimination in the sport he's dominated for well over 17 years. And now he's doing more than just lending his voice. For starters, he's established Mission 44, a platform that aims to improve the lives of individuals from underrepresented groups. In addition, the Stevenage-born driver partnered with Mercedes to establish Ignite, a joint enterprise focused on improving diversity and inclusion in motor racing. The 7-time F1 champion experiences of racism didn't end after his childhood days or after he became a superstar Formula One driver. The F1 great has been on the receiving end of a lot of discrimination throughout his 17-year career. In fact, as recently as 2021, Hamilton received a ton of online racist abuse following his dramatic British Grand Prix victory. After revelling in success after a gladiatorial victory, Hamilton dealt with accusations of dirty driving following Max Verstappen's shunt. In case you don't remember, the Mercedes driver clashed with his championship rival on lap 1, sending the Dutchman straight into the barriers at 180 mph. Verstappen was unhurt and Hamilton was handed a 10-second penalty for causing the collision. Well, after the race, this particular moment created an uproar. Christian Horner, Red Bull team principal, described it as dirty driving and desperate as he unequivocally blamed Hamilton in his message to Michael Massey, the FIA race director. This controversial moment resulted in an onslaught of online racial abuse directed at Hamilton. While this was quite awful, there was a silver lining to it all. For the first time, Lewis Hamilton didn't stand alone. The FIA, Formula One, Mercedes and even Red Bull team all came together to condemn the abuse and call for action to be taken against everyone responsible. Speaking ahead of the Hungarian Grand Prix, the 38-year-old revealed that it was great seeing the support from his team and other drivers. In a very moving statement, the Briton claimed that he wasn't standing alone for the first time in his career. This spoke to the growth the sport has experienced lately, and Lewis Hamilton is the biggest driving force behind this growth. Besides being the first and only black driver in F1 history, he climbed straight to the top and used that platform to improve diversity in the sport. So, while reflecting on all the devastating discrimination he suffered right from a very young age, we shouldn't forget all he's done to make the sport more inclusive. Lewis Hamilton's journey right to the very top has the power to inspire every marginalised child out there. This is the ultimate survival story. So, tell us, what are your takes on racism in F1? How long do you think F1 will go without another driver from our marginalised community? If you enjoyed watching this video, you're going to want to click the video on your screen right now. You will not regret it. Thank you for watching.